Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube, Diggy546? Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so the clock is winding down. Today is Monday. What is it, July 17th? If the Giants don't get this deal done with Saquon Barkley by 4 p.m., the franchise tag is set. Now it's just all about, does he want to sign it? He can choose to sit out the season. He can choose to do whatever he wants, but he's not going to be able to get a long-term deal, and he's not going to be able to play anywhere else but the New York Giants. So this is big. It's big because it started off where people mostly were saying there's 0% chance that Saquon is going to sit out. There's 0% chance that he's not going to play week one. But as things have kind of gone on, you start to see, Austin Eckler is pressuring Saquon and is sitting out and making sure that the running back presence is felt, because they're bringing up all these things about second wide receivers, third wide receivers making more than the running backs. Bijan Robinson is a rookie, just got drafted this year, and he's making more than Saquon is making. He's making more than every other running back in the league is for this particular season. So the running back position is in a real flux right now, and you got to think this is going to come up in the next CBA stuff, because the NFL has just placed a cap on running backs. They said, listen, we're not paying you over $13 million. It's not worth it to us. Zeke got paid $14 million. C-Mac got paid over $13 million. Todd Gurley got paid and his knees went out. So out of those three running backs that got paid that much, most of them have kind of not worked out of those three. Gurley had the knee issue, which was he already had a degenerative knee no matter what position he played. And then Zeke just kind of just fell off a cliff. So because of that, every other running back is paying. I was thinking, when Saquon was a rookie and I saw Zeke paid, I was thinking Saquon would get paid like $20 million. I thought he would get paid $21 million, something crazy like that. But Saquon is getting paid the same as your average number 2 or number 3 receiver. And it's probably not fair. I mean, it's probably not fair. It's definitely not fair. But it's just like this. Can you get an effective running game with running backs that aren't superstar running backs? And you can. It's been done. Now, you do need a good offensive line. You do need a competent quarterback most of the time. You need things around the running back in order for him to be successful. But Saquon Barkley is obviously more than just a good running back. He's probably more than just a superstar running back. He is dynamic. He can do it all on the field. He's not the receiver that Kamara is. He's not the receiver that C-Mac is, but he's up there. His blocking is getting better, but he is a big playmaker. And in this offense this year, with all of these new weapons that we've added, Saquon is a crucial piece of this offense. So I think Saquon is fully ready. I don't know about sitting out the season, but I think he's fully ready to sit out a couple of games to just make the league kind of just think about, like, running backs, they got to matter. They have to matter, even if you need to give them like a separate salary cap, because their careers are shortened. Their careers are shortened and they're not getting paid. So maybe the new formula is, you give these superstar running backs $20 million for 1 year, and you do it the next year, then you do it the next year. But something has definitely got to give. Because you bring up Austin Eckler, and you got Miles Sanders, and you got Miles Sanders got paid pennies pretty much. Tony Pollard is going to have to play on the tag this year. All these running backs are looking around, and Saquon is kind of the guy that you're looking towards to make a statement. If Saquon accepts this and plays under this tag, that shows teams that there's going to be some offseason drama. There's going to be some talk, but at the end of the day, they're still going to show up and they're still going to play. Now, as far as the Giants go, we have Eric Gray, who I forgot his name last video, but we have Eric Gray, we have Breida. I was going to say Paul Perkins. We have Brightwell. So I think those are three solid running backs. We haven't seen Eric Gray play yet, but I think those are three solid running backs. And I do think we could probably have an effective running game if the offensive line has improved. I think we could probably get over 100 yards a game. But what we're going to miss is the way that the defense plays us. We're going to miss the fact that Waller, no Waller, Hyatt, no Hyatt. To start the season off, Saquon's in the backfield. The defense is going to be playing the run. You got to worry about Daniel Jones. The defense is going to be playing the run. You know, Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley back there running the option. That's what their number one focus is going to be. Everything is going to work around Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. It's just that simple. Because the receivers outside, Waller, no Waller, have not proven that they can really get it done on a consistent basis. So they're going to be playing the run. But guess what? If you got Eric Gray back there, or if you got Breida back there, they're not going to have to really worry about the run the same way. Not to say that they can't end up gashing their defense because of that. That's possible. But also, the receivers are going to be treated like the number one option. So that's just something you have to pay attention to. The defense is going to play you different. Daniel Jones isn't going to be as nearly effective on those options. It's one thing if you're faking it off to Breida. It's one thing if you're faking it to Eric Gray. But if you're faking it to Saquon Barkley, you see it. You saw it all last year. The defensive they crashed down to stop Saquon from being able to get anything going. They crashed down, and like it's almost as if like we'll give up a 50-yard run to Daniel Jones, or we'll give up a 50-yard touchdown through the air if it's a play action. We'll do anything but allow the best player on their offense to beat us. So these are just things that we're going to have to keep in mind if this 4 p.m. deadline hits and Saquon is not signed to a long-term deal. Now, Joe Schoen has been very, very stubborn with the way he's operating. And I'm really, by this time, you're probably thinking like he hasn't said anything, like as far as what my actual opinion on this is. And I kind of hinted around in it. I'm really not thinking that there's a right answer completely either way, because there's merit to it. There's credit to that the running back position can be replaced. Now, can we get Saquon Barkley out of those three running backs? No, we can't. We're not going to get the big plays. We're just not going to have that. But you can have an effective running game without a superstar. But there's also merit to the fact that you're not finding a Saquon Barkley much of anywhere. And the guy is one of the probably top 20 players in the NFL of his entirety. And he's going to get paid less than second, third options who are receivers. And you can make this same argument. If you have a good quarterback, who cares about how many good receivers you have? After your first receiver, if you're a second receiver, shouldn't you just get paid pennies? Because you can swap those guys out pretty well if you have a really good quarterback. Only thing is receivers can play a little bit longer. But back to Joe Schoen, he's been very stubborn about this. And he's pretty much said, he said it a couple of months ago. He said the offer's off the table. The tag is in play now. And they've kind of repositioned everything around this tag. But Joe Schoen is probably this is probably going to be the move that defines, besides Daniel Jones getting paid $40 million a year, it's probably going to be one of the moves that define the rest of Joe Schoen's career as a general manager. Is it going to be just another couple years? Or is it going to be 10 years? Is it going to be this season? So looking at this, if he budges on this and Saquon Barkley gets paid $15 million a year or $14 million a year, and in 2 years Saquon Barkley looks like Zeke, people are going to be calling Joe Schoen crazy. They're going to be saying he has no idea what he's talking about. And he shouldn't have ever given a running back that contract. But if Joe Schoen holds pat and says, listen, you're playing on the tag or you're not playing, we have other guys behind you, deal with it. Joe Schoen, first of all, is going to be seen as probably a little bit of a villain to some of Saquon's teammates. And also, he's going to be looked at as the villain if we can't run the ball at all this season. And then Saquon leaves next year and we can't run the ball, next season, and we just can't get it going. Because all those years after Bradshaw retired and after he got hurt pretty much and Jacobs left, all those years, Giants fans were looking for that star running back because we could not run the ball to save our lives. And since Saquon has been here, we still haven't been able to run the ball consistently until last year and 2018. And pretty much we haven't been able to run it consistently until last year. But we have had a consistent threat running the ball. So I say that to say, big decision for Joe Schoen. It's going to make all the difference no matter which way he chooses. I support it either way because, you got to support the team. You got to support the team. You can't support the player. But I do hope for Saquon's sake that he gets a big payday, whether that's this year with the Giants or next year with another team. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.